again to Tour Truck Tuesday. Crucial piece of information today. Are you going to be a TP5 player, or are you going to get into the blank kingdom bag that is the TP5X? Giving you an overview of these golf balls before we even talk about the Tour Response, which is worth a mention. TP5X defined is going to have the red numbers on it. It's also going to have TP5X on the logo. The 5 is going to be the black numbers, and that one is going to be a little bit softer when it comes to feel. You can hear it just by bouncing that on the golf club. You can hear it softer. As it comes to the X, more clicky, louder, acoustic. You're then going to get that when it comes to a fitting. You must remember, with all of these fittings, it's going to be about feel. The golf ball is the one piece of information, it's the one piece of equipment that has to be a standard throughout. Do not just grab any golf ball and hope for the best. You know that. You've seen it on my live fittings. Go through the playlist of uploads I've got. Golf ball is always spoken about because it's key. And you'll see in there, I always outline, are we going for a slightly more spinny ball, or are we going for a less spin in these golf balls? So slightly more spinny going to be the 5, less spin going to be the X. Any fitter that is working with you that's worth their salt, and if you need a fitter, it's in the description below. Hit that link. But any fitter that's worth their salt will work around the golf ball preference that you like. So again, this video is crucial. You must know, feel. Do you want softer sound? Do you want, just as you hit some pitch shots out there, and I'm not concerned about targets right now, but as you hit some pitch shots out there to get a feel for a ball, do you want the softer feel that comes out of that? Again, not too concerned about targets, we'll get to that, but do you want the softer feel that comes out and the lowest launch in the TP5 when it gets to just wedges? This is the lowest launch ball that TaylorMade make in these wedges. Lowest launch, highest spinning, softest feel, or do you want the more clicky acoustic sound, be careful when you select them, of the TP5X, a little bit louder and a little bit higher and not quite as much spin? That's against an upslope, that grabbed. I want you to test these, really focus when it comes to wedges, 120 yards and in, get on a smallish green, smallish target. Maybe it's got a false front, distance control is key. Again, I've talked about this, little bit into breeze, feel it here. I'm not looking at a TrackMan right now. Yes, I've got one set up, but I want you really to go on a course, ideally with 6 of each ball, 3 of each ball, obviously watch pace of play and all that jazz, but go out and hit some different flighted wedge shots. This is the one area that should really push your decision. You can own it based on, yes, I want to have a soft feel TP5. Yes, I want to have high spin TP5. That's where you can own it. But also, if the preferences are that you want a slightly harder, clickier feel, get into the 5X. The new models have changed a little bit versus the prior model. This is the 2021 ball, and the TP5X now adds a little bit more spin in these short irons. So you will feel that when it comes to it. You are going to get a bit more spin out of this ball versus the prior model for those of you who still played in that. And you can see here, I'm going to drag a chart up and put it on the screen, but there's a little bit of difference launch in the irons as well. Mid launch out the 5 versus high launch, and then as a result of that, you get slightly different spin rates where that TP5X will spin a little bit less for you. So again, think about where you play. Do I play in the wind? Do I play soft, receptive golf courses? Do I really need the extra check and grab around the greens? Or do I like the harder feel? All depends where you're at. Why is it so crucial? Because it dictates absolutely everything when it comes to fitting. It dictates iron choices, it dictates spin rates, it dictates lofts on those irons, how they're going, which one you're going to pick and what loft you're going to set it at. It sets it all for you. And you'll notice here in the chart, as we look at driver, you're going to get the same launch, same low spin, but of course you have a slightly different speed out of the 5X simply because of the way the cover is and the way that core can be activated with 5 layers. So all decisions that you have to think about when it comes to picking the right golf ball for you, but I really wouldn't start caught up in a TrackMan and a launch monitor, and I'd start by trusting your feels and getting on just here some little shots and trusting what you want to see and trying to watch it for the flight, for the height, for the land. Are you comfortable with that? Can you control that? And then maybe work on some less ones, some slightly smaller ones, and really see if that's something that you want to have. Putter as well, feel off that. Now there's another golf ball in the mix that needs to be talked about. 3 layers. It is Tour Response and Tour Response Stripe. And you'll notice again, as we reference the chart, let's just take a look at that and study that. Why is it coming out fast, lowest spin, same launch, lowest spin again, highest launch, high on the spin on the wedges, but low launch? Well, think about the player that this is aimed at. This is aimed at someone who perhaps isn't going to get everything out of 5 layers. 5 layers is a lot. You do need speed in order to be able to activate all those layers and get those different ball flights. This ball is a hair cheaper as well, so it's slightly easier on the wallet. Slightly lesser golfer might lose more balls. Usually hits cuts across, add spin. This one's going to spin the least, but that urethane cover is massive. Urethane is what you can feel when you simply do the clicking up and you hear that soft sound. That's urethane. Every cover of every premium golf ball is urethane. All 3 of these balls have it. Now you get it at a better price point with a spin rate that is suited for the person who's hitting swipe across and getting it in the air and adding spin. Crucial. The next piece on this, which you've surely seen, TaylorMade did it as well, the stripe. The stripe in the golf ball. Now I like this because I like to be able to line it up. If I want to hit fades off the tee, I'll move it down the left side to help promote that path, draws that path. But the idea of it is that you can use it to help with your putting and your alignment on the greens. It's a quality ball that at that price point, but with those spin rate numbers, is aimed at a certain type of golfer that is adding. I think if you can afford it and you can get into the TP5 or the 5X, I'm a big fan of those, our top end golf balls. But on the same note, the Tour Response Stripe and the Tour Response is a great addition to this family. But I can't push you enough. I talk about it in every live fitting. I've got golf balls out behind that camera now. Options, 5, 5X. Every good fitting starts with golf ball. Every fitting that I do starts with golf ball choice, because the drivers and the irons can be fit into the preferences. You need to know what you want. If you play in the wind, sometimes you don't want loads of backspin because into wind it'll stall if you're not great at taking spin off. But on the same note, think about that the flip way. If you're down breeze, high spin keeps it in the air. So you have got some choices to make and some questions to ask yourself. I think I heard something the other day that every good lesson is controlled by the pupil. They ask the right questions. It's the same when it comes to the golf ball. Every good fitting is controlled by the questions you ask yourself about what flight do I want on these short shots? What flight do I then want on my mid irons? What launch do I want on my irons? Again, you've got the 2 different options. Where do I want to see it? Because that fitter then can adjust lofts in order to find what you need. Same applies when you get into 7-wood, rescue, 2 iron. I know that was a big hit, that video, but ball dictates it all. Every piece of fitting I do here for myself, every demonstration is a TP5X. I've talked about it before. My history is a little steep on it and a little swipe down adds spin. I like to control the spin. I use the golf ball to assist with that, and I've got over the hurdle of the hard feel or harder feel that the TP5X has. Now it's something I can't live without. Again, putters, all got inserts on it. You can overrule it with the insert to give you the feel, or now big soft grips that dampen the feel. So anything like that can be got around. Don't just pick up a ball and think, I don't like that feel, that's killing me. We can work around it. Check out the link below. Like I say, TaylorMade fitter in there will give you advice on that. Any good fitter, anywhere you go, will always look at golf ball. And if you go and get a fitting and the golf ball isn't the first thing that's mentioned, then I would proceed with massive caution from that point forward, because it's the most important piece. And I think these balls that are tour proven are huge. And we see tour players change, sometimes week to week, course dependent. So get your loft and lies right on the balls that you're playing, the conditions that you're playing, the winds that you're playing in. Look at the run outs versus the landing point to where that ball stops. Really decide on how you control your wedges and the flight, and then go from there. I really think this one shouldn't be overlooked. It marries into the other videos that I put out there. It's crucial. I've got some live fittings coming up. They all start with the conversation about golf ball. So make sure this is something you don't overrule. And of course, tour response with that added stripe. It's only going to help the type of golfer that's aimed at, the ones who are adding spin themselves and helping it in the air. And who doesn't like something that's a bit better on the wallet? Plus, it's still urethane, massive. That's key. That's that feel. You tap these things together, that's that sound, that premium sound that you're going to get in that cover. If you like what you're seeing, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification. A video goes up once a week, every Tour Truck Tuesday, all about equipment needs. Probably looking like bringing you some tips with your golf swing now coming up over the summer. Anything you guys want to see, bang it in the comments below. I appreciate your follow and I appreciate your support. Don't overlook this one. Absolutely business critical.